Having a very heated argument, discussion, whatever you want to call it, about the police and the public. Former police spokesman Charles Owino is in the house, as is former DCI boss Joseph Kamau. We were expecting Senator Kiom Tata from Busia earlier on. Guess he's still trying to find his way from the border.
Ameogopa polisi wawili.
Ameogopa?
Wakubwa.
Wakubwa.
Sisi hatukamati mtu. Afande yangu ameretire. Mimi pia niko njiani hiyo njia tu. Tuwezi shika yange kuja tu. Tupige story.
Before the break, I was telling you about Article 245, right?
Yes.
If we can put up the graphic over there and let our viewers see a bit of that. It talks about the National Police Service's provision in the Constitution, right?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. The Cabinet Secretary responsible for police services may lawfully give a direction to the Inspector General with respect to any matter of policy for the National Police Service. But no person may give a direction to the Inspector General with respect to, and we're going to 4B, sub-article 4B, the enforcement of the law against any particular person or persons.
Yes, yes, that is true.
But it seems like the AG is getting his instructions from the CS.
Let me tell you something. The law is very clear that the CS may give him instructions on matters of policy in writing.
In writing?
Yeah, and not otherwise.
But he announces it on TV when he says...
Yes, the CS has political affiliations. He can speak, but that does not mean that IG Kome will do what he has said. IG Kome will act independently, professionally, and he takes responsibility for every action. And that is why, if the IG acts contrary to regulations, then he cannot go and say, I was told by the CS. The CS statement may be political because CSs have political affiliations. And he's allowed, he's free to make a statement. But that does not mean that the Inspector General would take his instructions.
So what you're saying is Kome doesn't take his, he doesn't take his instructions verbally?
No, I'm sure he doesn't. And he's responsible for any action that he takes. So if he takes any action on matters that maybe you have had the CS pronounce, then he must take them legally, not because the CS pronounced them.
And yet, we see the police acting one way. It looks like they're getting the instructions from above, Bwana Kamau. It looks like it.
It seems confusing, but what occurs here, even the IG, there's always an operational order. And that operational order will be completely outside what you're hearing. So really, look at the operational order and you see where the IG stands. Because you have an operational order. You cannot function without that. All these things you're seeing, Jeff, has an operational order. And that order goes to all the commanders, to everyone. So really, he's not, again, he's a professional. The professional is the IG. So, and again, they will be really picking his mind and his brain on what is to be done. So maybe when he picks up there, like Mr. Owino says, maybe you go there and make a political statement. Yes. But the IG himself really he's a professional. He has done what he needs to do through the operational order.
And Jeff, there's a lot of prejudice against police, and yet you cannot sleep in your house without the police presence. Police officers will always act on their own without having time to refer to their books or to refer to their superiors. When you send officers in that kind of a riot situation, it is upon him at that particular time to make decisions within the law. He has no time to go and look at his books and say, this is the justifiable circumstance of using my firearm. He has no time to call the IG Kome and say, Afande, nipige risasi, hapana. He makes decision at that particular point depending on the situation.
Okay, so who do we blame for all these killings? There's been more than 24 killings, all by police bullets.
Yes, because we are not civil. The community is not civil. We are not properly educated on the law. We are not obedient. If we are obedient, if we are civil, we would not get into confrontation with the police in the first place. Because if there is supposed to be a demonstration, for example, why don't you notify the police as provided in law? After notifying the police, why don't you agree on the route you are going to use? Why don't you say we are going to assemble in Junction, Gong Road, and we are going to have a procession to Kamkunji. We are going to have a meeting between this time, and then people disperse peacefully.
Oh, so you say,
why are we not doing that? Why are we having people waking up early in the morning, blocking the highways, burning tires? We cannot move. Nothing happens.
Are you saying we are uncivilized? Is that what?
Totally.
Huh?
Totally, we are. We must take responsibility as a community first. Remember, these policemen are not from the moon. These are our brothers and sisters. This is just a job like the one you are doing here, Jeff. Nobody is going to walk here and start disrupting your session here, and then he will be left. These people will run over him and pick him and throw him out. So what we are saying is that community must be civil.
Do you agree?
We must be obedient.
Do you agree? Because it seems like police, for the most part, are very trigger happy.
I don't know when you say trigger happy. Just like we said, remember you are confronted with a serious situation. Yes. Just like we mentioned earlier on the concept of minimum force. We are really confronted with that situation, and again, there's no time to refer to anything. So you have to act according to what is there, and that is why you need to be equipped mentally on how to act, and you must be professional, you must be disciplined. You must have that through training. That must come through training. And I cannot emphasize more. You must be trained so that when that occurs, you are not going to, you see, it's instant. It's not, you're not going, oh, is this what? No, it's instant. So that training must involve what? Simulation of the problems you might encounter. Meaning, they have arrows, they have guns, they have stones, they have what? That simulation, that training, so that you're aware of it. So if I'm aware of something, I'm not like a rabbit caught on the headlights of a car. I know. So I'm aware of it. So that is why I'm emphasizing that training is very, very significant on this issue.
Equally, Jeff, I can see a lot of restraint from the police. And you've seen situations. You've seen where policemen are retreating. Mm-hmm. They are retreating from the public.
Oh, that's very rare.
No, but you've seen them.
Most of the time they're chasing people.
No, I'm saying, accept that you've seen in the last few days policemen retreating, jumping into the lorry, and moving away from the public.
They're overwhelmed.
Yeah, but they cannot be overwhelmed. They have the guns. They can shoot them. They have refused to shoot them. They have decided to restrain.
Yeah.
They are restraining themselves. You've seen members of the public are riding on a police vehicle. Mm-hmm. You think you would do that before? You ride on a police vehicle, you drive a police vehicle, and you are full in the police vehicle, the police would shoot you. That shows great restraint from the police. Let's call a spade a spade. If we are going to entertain, let me tell you, if we are not going to give police powers to stop such nonsense, such primitivity that we are exercising and displaying, then we will put our country into a point of anarchy.
What do you say?
There must be fear of security.
So you're saying they should get more powers?
I'm not saying more powers. The public should be able to condemn actions of boys and girls who have been paid to go and cause mayhem. Because nobody is refusing that you can picket, that you can demonstrate, that you can assemble. The Constitution is clear. But the position is, you've seen the last few days, they are not notifying the OCSs of respective stations. They are notifying Inspector General. That is not what is in law. You notify the OCS, you sit down with him, you agree on the way you want to do things, and if things are wrong, I've not seen the leader of opposition condemning people closing the road. I've not seen him condemning people burning tires. When we had the problem in Mlolongo, the opposition said those were Deputy President's goons. That's what they said. Today, I don't know whether these people I'm seeing in the slums are Deputy President's goons, because it has been very easy to abuse the Deputy President unnecessarily, abusing a person holding a serious office. The moment we are disrespectful to our leaders, then we are going to cause anarchy. Because I can tell you, if the police decide to sit aside and then both parties bring goons, what will happen? There will be anarchy in the country. People will kill themselves. The police will still be blamed for not taking action. So number one, Jeff, we must agree as a country that we must condemn this action by leaders of the opposition. We must agree that they must follow the law. Let leaders of opposition humble themselves, follow the law, then we can be able to push the blame to the police. But as it stands, the police has shown great restraint in the actions of members of the public.
But okay, tell me something. The other day, or a few weeks ago, there were demonstrations in South Africa.
Yeah.
Julius Malema led thousands of people in demonstrations.
Yes.
Not one of them were injured or hurt or killed. Israel, you've seen the last few weeks, they're all demonstrating against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Day in, day out. Not a single one of them.
Did you see them even break a branch of a tree? Even the Malema demonstration?
What are you trying to say?
No, did you see them break even a branch of a tree? The Malema demonstration?
What is your point?
It's a peaceful demonstration, organized, civil, in a particular route. They were not in all roads in Pretoria or Johannesburg. They were on a specific route, leaving one point to another. Very civil, very organized. Pengine, tungekuwa colonized up to 1980, maybe would have been better, or 1990, the way South Africa went. We are extremely primitive in the way we are doing our things. I'm disappointed. Because the people in that group, the Deputy President, Martha, these are civil people with good education, lawyers. Are you getting? But need for positions overwhelms us to an extent that we think we can get into power through shortcut. Hapa Kenya, hakuna shortcut. And I can tell you, most of the people that you are seeing demonstrating are people who have been either motivated, have been mobilized, but that instant action where people just come out to demonstrate is not there. Everybody is busy. People want to open their shops. Jeff want to come here for work. Did you go for demonstration?
I was working.
Why didn't you just go? Why couldn't you just have gone for demonstration? Are you agitated with high cost of living?
No, I'm pissed off.
Can you join and refuse to come to work?
And then how do I get paid?
So wale wanaenda kwa demonstration who are not going to work, how do they get paid? How do they get food?
No, I think it comes through. I agree. I think it comes through training and, of course, resources. That police officer who is out there, we talk about South Africa and Israel. You look at those police officers, they are well equipped. They have body armor, they have clothing, protective clothing, they have everything. They have really truly trained. And when you equip someone like that, you eliminate the concept, I don't fear. I know I'm protected, I don't fear that. Now the question here is, are our police officers, even as we speak, really given all those resources so that they can confront this? Are they given? Remember, again, we have an issue here. We give policemen all kinds of technology, vehicles, guns, but we don't train the individual. We need to concentrate on the individual police officer.
Very good point.
Because he's a human being. We need to train him.
Very good point.
If we want him to...
Jeff, that
hold on. I want to take another break, come back and talk about that. And also get some feedback. There's lots of feedback from folks out there. Tweets are coming in very thick and very fast. Keep tweeting at Kwenange Jeff at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JKLIVE. JKLIVE takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.